Hey everybody, welcome to our last week of October. I love the last week of October because it reminds me that Halloween is coming up. All month long, we have been talking about self-control. Speaking of Halloween, I gotta use self-control when I'm eating all the candy. I might not be trick-or-treating this year, but
There's still candy at the grocery store.
our first week, we talked about how God can give you the power to control yourself. Our second week, we talked about how you need to pause before you lose your temper. Last week was all about pressing mute and selecting our words carefully so that we only use words that are kind, not that might end up hurting ourselves or others later. This week is super important, especially since it's so close to Halloween. This week is all about knowing when to stop. I have a fun story about knowing when to stop, but you don't get to hear it until the activity after this. Right now, we're playing a game. You need a deck of cards. I'll put the rules up on the screen so you can watch them as I say them. The first rule is that you are on a team. So if you are just playing with yourself, you are playing against the bomb. If you are with another sibling or a parent, you are each on your own team playing against each other to get the most points. The person with the most points wins. Each card, whether it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, is worth the amount of points that the card is. So a 2 is worth 2 points. A 9 is worth 9 points. A joker is worth 10 points. And an ace is worth 10 points. But what about those face cards, Becca? The Jack, Queen, and King. Those cards are bombs. They explode all of your points that round. So this game is about knowing when to stop. Everyone has to draw at least one card. So I'm going to put my deck here in front of me, right here. And I'm going to 10 points! Okay, now I can either put this card on my pile and I can keep my 10 points and it's someone else's turn. Or I can draw again. If I end my turn, it's someone else's turn. But if I draw again, I can have more points. But if I draw a face card, these 10 points go away because they get exploded. So let's see what I do. I'm going to take a risk. 7! I have 17 points now! Okay, I can either stop my turn and keep my 17 points, or I could try to get more points off this card. But I might explode. I'm gonna try it again. Yes! 17 plus 6, 22? Wait, is it 22 or 23? I'll do the math later. I'm gonna stop. I know when to stop. I'm going to keep these points in my pile. Now, I'm going to do a different turn. Let's say this person, they keep their points over there. Oh my goodness! If I hadn't stopped my turn, all of those points would have exploded. I just got 22 points, or 23, and I get to keep them because I knew when to stop my turn. Oh, that was amazing. I didn't even plan that. Well, that person's turn ends. I'm going to put the bomb in the middle of the pile and I'm going to shuffle. Okay. It's this person's turn again. Let's see. 5 points. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go for more. 3 points. Okay, I'm going to go for more. Another 3. 5 plus 3 plus 3. That's 11 points. Should I do more? Or should I stop? I'm going to go for more. Another 10 points. Okay, I've got 21. I'm going to stop. I'm going to know when to stop. I don't want those points to get exploded. Okay, it's this person's turn again. Ready? That was amazing. I didn't plan that. If I hadn't stopped, I would have lost all of those 21 points. Wow! Knowing when to stop is super important. Oh my goodness, I need to take a minute. Woo! Now, you don't have to play with me. If you want, you can play this game after. Let me just debrief real quick, and then you can take your deck of cards at home, and you can play with whoever is around. Whew, I'm still... I got so lucky. Well, it isn't luck. I used self-control. It's really important to know when you've got enough. Like when you've got enough points, when you've had enough fun, when you've eaten enough food. It's really important to know what your limit is so that you don't overindulge. There is a thing as having too much of a good thing. For example, too much water, it's called drowning. Too much fun at a sleepover, if you stay up all night, you might be cranky the next day. Too much of another good thing like donuts or Halloween candy, a little bit is great, but too much and your body becomes really unhealthy. So it's really important to know when to stop, to know when to control yourself, to set a safe limit so you can still enjoy things that are good for you and some things that are not so good, like Halloween candy. But still set a safe limit so your body stays healthy, so you make good choices, so you know when to stop playing with your friends or their favorite game because it's time to get your homework done. What are some things that you personally struggle with overindulging or not knowing when to stop? For some kids, it's sports, when winning becomes more important than playing in a way that honors your team and your opponents. For some people, it might be candy. For some people, they might not know when to stop joking around, and sometimes they might end up hurting people they care about accidentally. For me, it's scotcheroos. I was on a really fun work tour when I was working for Stages Theater Company. We took the entire show and put it in a moving truck, and we took all of the actors and we put them in a bus, and we drove 2.5 hours to Big Fork. And all weekend long, we had so much fun, and we had campfires, and we did the show for people up in Big Fork, Minnesota. And all week long, there were scotcheroos, which are my favorite dessert in the world. And I ate a scotcheroo for lunch, and I ate a scotcheroo for snack, and I ate a scotcheroo for dinner. And the next morning, I had a scotcheroo for breakfast. And the rest of the day, I had had so much sugar the past few days that I had a stomach ache and a headache. And I wasn't able to enjoy the rest of the campfire or the swimming or the rest of the shows that we were doing. Because you can have too much of a good thing. So that's why it's important to set your limits, to know when to stop. And if you have a hard time in a specific area of your life, like watching YouTube videos or playing with a phone, then it's really important to ask someone to help you set a good limit. Because it's very important to be in control of yourself. And that means knowing when to stop. I'll see you for the next activity.